Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of you in your ibadah and your worship, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our night prayers from all of us. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. We are going to start momentarily. The subject of tonight is the plan that we should make at this moment for the auspicious night that is around the corner, which is known as the 15th of Sha'ban. So, inshallah, we'll be talking about this plan and putting together a strategy as a community as to what we should do in these upcoming days starting from tomorrow. Before we get into that, of course, inshallah, I have to try once more to get onto Facebook Live with the community of IACC. We failed miserably on Friday for some reason, and again, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, it is still waiting for the video, and that's always been a reason. They've updated their subhanallah, they've updated their software for Facebook, and it's only been problematic since then. So just bear with me for just a few seconds. In the meantime, if you want to type anything, a question, or want to say something, please feel free to do so. It's an open platform here, inshallah, so please do go ahead and type something, inshallah. And I am seeing here that going live on Facebook is becoming a problem. I don't know how I can resort back to the old one. Streaming video, if video stops. So yes, Facebook Live is not allowing me again to get on, and I apologize for that. What it shows me is a very dark screen waiting for live video, but there is no feed for some reason. So inshallah, I do not want to hold up your time because mashallah, all of you are spending your time to of course, take out your time for us, and we greatly appreciate your presence here tonight. So, without further ado, we'll begin for tonight our discussion. On nights, we have a khatira, and the purpose of a khatira is where we discuss a subject matter and take that home and dwell over it and think about it and try to inculcate these small little palatable bites of Islamic knowledge. Wa alaikum salam wa Sister Sania. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. You have a question about makeup prayer. When is it permissible to make up prayer? So, alhamdulillah, since you asked a question, I will answer your question inshallah, then we'll go into our subject matter. So, in these palatable bites of knowledge, our goal is to enlighten ourselves and remind ourselves and better ourselves when it comes to the knowledge of Islam, when it comes to practicing Islam, when it comes to gaining a close relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, sister, you have a question regarding making up prayer, and alhamdulillah, that's a very good question. When is the best time to make up prayer? The best time to make up prayer is anytime. And it sometimes may become overwhelming, so it's very important to create a schedule. So, for example, there are people who have maybe years worth of prayer that they miss, which is alhamdulillah, that's fine. It's a beauty that Allah allows us to realize this and to try to fix it. Alhamdulillah. So just say you have years worth of prayers to make up. The best thing to do is first sit down and contemplate as to how many prayers you need to make up. And based on that number, what I always advise people is to read one makeup prayer with one active prayer. So right now we just prayed Maghrib prayer. So after praying Maghrib, make up a qada, a makeup of Maghrib. And you continue that cycle for the amount of weeks, months, or years that you need to make up. And inshallah, in that way, it's a seamless transition and it allows you to get it done without overwhelming yourself. If you were to sit down and start doing 10, 20 of them today, chances are a few days down the road, you're not going to do any more. So balance it out, inshallah, with the intention that you're making up your prayers. Secondly, if the prayers are under 5, just say like 1 or 2 prayers, you need to make up those prayers before the prayer that you are praying now. Unless the prayer of now has less time, then you make up that prayer. You'd make that prayer and make up the other 2 in systematic format. So if you miss Zuhr, you missed Asr, and it's Maghrib. Maghrib started 40 minutes ago, so you can pray your Zuhr first, Asr, and then Maghrib. But just say it's almost time for Isha and you haven't prayed Zohar, Asr, and Maghrib, pray your Maghrib first, and then pray your Zohar, and then pray your Asr. If it's five or less, you make them up sequentially, and if it's more than that, then I give you one option, inshallah, and to all of us how we can make up our prayers. I hope that answers your question, inshallah. And without further ado, inshallah, let's talk about tonight. Brothers and sisters, I come to you tonight after praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and sending salutations upon the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I come to you tonight with a plan. We are as a community and as a ummah growing closer by the day to the blessed and holy month of Ramadan. And as we've been dwelling and thinking about its arrival last year when it departed, lo and behold, Ramadan is at our doorstep. It's only a matter of opening the door and welcoming this blessed month of Ramadan in. So before we do that, it's important to now create a game plan as to how this month and how these nights and days before that month are going to be spent. So number one, tonight we want to talk about Ayyam Bid. Ayyam Bid means the white nights. These are the nights when the moon is at its fullest. That's the 13th, 14th, and 15th moon of the month. So the 13th day or the 13th moon, the 14th moon, which is a full moon, and the day after that are known as the white nights and the white days. It's in these days that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam would fast. And he also recommended fasting Monday and Thursdays and also the 3 days of the white days of the month, the peak of the month, as we would say. So these days, my dear friends, are coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 13th. Tonight's the 13th night, which makes tomorrow the 13th day. And Wednesday is going to be the 14th, and Thursday is going to be the 15th. So it's a grand opportunity for us at a time when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam would fast the most, if not all, of this month. He was so happy with the closing in of Ramadan, he would fast more in this month than any other month. Let's put it on our schedules tonight. And tomorrow morning, inshallah, we're waking up at 5 and we're going to eat our sehri and we're going to fast tomorrow, which is Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday, inshallah. This is something I think we all should jot down in our plans. And let me just silence that once more. And if it's not on your plan, per se, put it on your plan. And if it's something that's not doable, make the intention, inshallah, tonight. Let's just see what happened there. Make the intention, please, everyone, that we are going to fast tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. Say, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. Now, number two. This is a month which is a very unique month. In it is a night known as the night of the 15th of Sha'ban. Laylatul Nisf Sha'ban, the night of the 15th of Sha'ban. Now, my fellow Muslims, I want to talk to you tonight about this night because it's right around the corner. Matter of fact, Wednesday night. Tomorrow night is the 14th night. Wednesday night is going to be the 15th night. And Thursday is going to be the 15th day. There is a very beautiful night that lies 15 days before the month of Ramadan. It is a month in which we can gain so much purification and closeness to Allah that when we do enter the holy month of Ramadan, we can enter full swing. So for that, we need to understand what this night is, what we should do, what we shouldn't do, and what we should regard as important to do. What is this night? According to over 17 Sahabas, may Allah be pleased with all of them, it is recorded in numerous traditions that this night has a significance. We learn from the tradition of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that it is in this night that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's caller calls out. The entirety of this night, Hal min mustaghfirin, is there someone seeking forgiveness that Allah may forgive them? This is a call that's made every night in the time of tahajjud, anyone who needs something that Allah may provide. But on this night, the one that's coming up on Wednesday night, it is such an important night that this call is made from Maghrib till Fajr. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the angel that is deployed to call out in this world to all the creations, the jinns and the humans. Is there someone tonight seeking forgiveness that they may be granted forgiveness? Is there someone out there that has a need that their need may be sufficed? Subhanallah, I don't think I need to elaborate on this point, my fellow Muslims, because we all recognize and identify that we really have a need. That need is that, oh Allah, alleviate and free us from this problem afflicting our world. Take this away from us. Bring forth purity and clarity and healing and shifa, and allow us to enter your house once more. I'm sure we all inside are yearning for this. Well, guess what? Wednesday night is the night to ask Allah and get that, inshallah. These moments in our life come once. And so we need to make sure that we capitalize on this moment and do what is best. So on this night, we find from 17 different Sahabas numerous traditions in regards to the significance of this night. Thus forth, we can say that this night is important. With the fact that some of those traditions may be deemed weak by the scholars of hadith, but when they come to such a number, such as 17, you cannot claim the authenticity of this thing to be questionable. It's an authentic night, it's an important night. So that is what the 15th night of Sha'ban is, which will be this Wednesday night. Not tomorrow night, the night after that, inshallah. What should a person do at that night? Let it be known that bid'ah and innovation is something that takes us away from the light of the prophetic teachings and the prophetic way. Every innovation that takes you away from the Prophet Muhammad's way and the command of Allah will only lead to a person going astray. And we don't want that to happen. So what do we do on this night? My fellow Muslims and fellow friends, this is a night for asking from Allah. There's no special prayer. I want to make this clear. There's no special prayer on this night. Remember, do the prayers that the Prophet Muhammad did throughout the year, throughout his life. There are many prayers we can read. We could pray tahajjud, we could pray nawafil, we could read Quran, we could make dua, we could do dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a night that we need to stay awake, my fellow Muslims. Let it be known that Wednesday night we all are gonna stay awake, inshallah. And that from each home the echoing of cries, tears, calls, recitation of Quran will be throughout. We can sleep on Wednesday, on Thursday. We can figure things out on Thursday. Kids are off inshallah on Friday and Monday here in Frisco, and I'm sure there's a Monday off for many because it's Easter Monday. Let us capitalize on this moment. We as an ummah need it. How do you capitalize on prayer and worship and Quran and dhikr, my dear brothers and sisters? In the same method and manner that you are in right now, in seclusion, in what we call this self-quarantine. Get away from the world. Put your cell phone away, turn the TV off, stop reading the newspaper, just focus inwards. Let it be known that it's in seclusion that you find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Prophet Muhammad found Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's revelation, Jibreel when he was in seclusion. Musa when he was alone and he went to Allah. Every person finds Allah in the state of seclusion and a state when they are turning to Allah alone. So let's not waste this night in gatherings and talks. I know we cannot gather anymore due to the social quarantine restrictions, but my fellow brothers and sisters, still you'll find people who will engage in just watching videos, listening to talks, and engaging in things. My fellow brothers and sisters, no. This is not even the thing to do, regardless if you are allowed or not. This is not the practice that should be adopted. To make this a mihfil, to make this a discussion, to make this a celebration, to make this a whole night of having gatherings and talks is not going to help us. When the angel is calling, who wants something that can give? You and I need to go and ask so we can receive. You and I need to sit in seclusion and beg Allah for forgiveness. For if Allah does not forgive me today, entering Ramadan in a state of burden of sins, in the darkness of sins, in the filth of sins, will take time to purify. And in that time that goes by, I'll be losing precious days and nights and moments, minutes and seconds of Ramadan. And we cannot do that this year for sure. Especially this year, we cannot do that. So, brothers and sisters, on this night, seclusion, stay away from all the gatherings and talk. There's also practices from our back home countries of cooking foods and sweets. There's nothing that needs to be cooked right now. There's nothing that needs to be delivered right now. What needs to be cooked and delivered is our prayers and our tears. That's what we need to deliver to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Put these practices for now and the future away. There's also people who feel the practices to go to the graveyard. These also are not practices. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he went to the graveyard once around this time, but that was because he would frequent the graveyard. I want you to understand that going to the graveyard on this night as a tradition is not a sunnah, it is a bid'ah, it is an innovation. Making sweets is not in the Quran, it's not in the Hadith for this night, it's an innovation. Let's not waste these precious moments. And sitting and having gatherings and discussions is not from the Sunnah, it's an innovation. And lastly, brothers and sisters, to criticize and critique and to put down and to quarrel with those who honor this night, even if you don't, is also an innovation. If you don't agree, then go to sleep. If you don't accept, then go to sleep, but do not waste this night, because this night is of a great importance. And I'm going to ask all of you who are on right now, which night are we talking about? It's called the night of the 15th of Sha'ban. And I want someone to please type it. When will that night occur again? I've said it 3-4 times. Please type it, inshallah, and let me know that you grasped it. So what's the plan? Tomorrow is the 14th day of, the 13th day of Sha'ban. We are going to inshallah fast tomorrow. Why? Because the Prophet ﷺ fast a lot, and he fast a lot in this month, and he also Wednesday night. Jazakumullah khairan. Really appreciate from all of you. So we're gonna fast tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, the 3 days, the white days. Also because the Prophet ﷺ fasted on these days, and he also fasted in this month on those days. We will fast on those days, inshallah. Even if you can't, I understand, make the intention. Allah will give you so much on your intention. Wednesday night, we're going to worship the whole night. Inshallah, we're gonna cry to Allah. We're gonna make resolutions happen with Allah, inshallah. That's the power of this night. But remember, on this night, there are two people who are deprived. There are two sets of people who are deprived. There are two sets of people that we learn of that are deprived. We learn in the tradition that on this night, Allah forgives as many people as there are hairs on the animal of Banu Kalb. Banu Kalb was a tribe at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They owned valleys of animals. They had so many animals, and the metaphor that was given, that as many hairs and fibers of hair that are on these animals, Allah forgives that many people except for two types of people. The first one is who harbors malice in their heart for someone. Brothers and sisters, let me say something, and please hear me out on this. If I have beef with someone, go and just release my beef. If someone punched me, let me go punch them back. And I'm not saying violence here. I want to explain something here. If someone said something nasty to me, I'd rather just go back and say it to them. You know why? Because what happens is people, they take a bad incident and they start harboring malice. And that malice lasts for years, if not decades. And that malice is what? Where you wish harm on someone. You'd rather go punch the person and figure the whole thing out, but now you're harboring malice. This malice will deprive you from the blessings of Laylatul Qadr, Laylatul Nisf Sha'ban. It will deprive you of Ramadan. It will deprive you in so many places. Allah does not show mercy to those who harbor malice. If you have family members with which you have problem, pick up the phone and call them and say, you know what, let's figure this out and finish this off. It is not worth losing the rewards and blessings that we as an ummah need right now. So stop the quarreling. My fellow Muslims, I plead to you. Our ummah has fought with each other for too long now. But we complain when people fight with us. We've been fighting with each other for too long. It needs to end. It needs to stop, inshallah. Number two, Allah doesn't forgive those who harbor malice and those who have pride. Any type of pride that we have within ourselves, that pride is detrimental to us. The hadith says the people who hang their trousers below the ankle. And the explanation on that is people who walk with pride. It can be taken literally and metaphorically. But when we look at this, anyone who has pride, remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the hadith, Al kibriya uridai, pride is my cloak. Whoever tries to pull it from them, I will wage war with them. You do not, and we do not have pride. We are Muslims. Al Muslimuna hayyinuna layyinun. We are Muslims who are supposed to be soft and gentle and calm and humble. Kal jamalil anif. It's like a camel. If you pull it, it just comes. If you tell it sit down, it sits down. We are humble human beings. Our deen, not our culture, not our bloodline. Our religion teaches us to be humble. So let us stop malice and fights, brothers and sisters. Reach out today and tomorrow. You have 2 nights to do it. Monday night, Tuesday night. Figure this thing out. Doesn't matter who they are. If they're alive, call them, text them, email, whatever you need to do. And if they passed on, pray for them, inshallah. And number two, let us ask Allah to humble us. Let us ask Allah to make us humble human beings. Those who He will draw close to and we will draw close to, not those who will try to pull His cape of pride from Him. Allah's cloak of pride, and pride is only Allah's cloak. It only belongs to Him. None of us have the right to have pride. So we talked about what is this night, what needs to be done in this night, what should not be done in this night. And in conclusion, many people say you should fast on the 15th. Now, brothers and sisters, I just want to make clear, fasting on the 15th of Sha'ban, which would be Thursday, is not any special fast. It has no merit or reward to it. If you're fasting especially for that day alone, there's no merit for that. If you're fasting 13, 14, 15, or you're just fasting on Thursday because of the Monday and Thursday, or you're fasting because you want to emulate the Prophet ﷺ in doing as many fasts as you can, perfectly fine. But don't fast Thursday thinking it's a more significant fast than any other time. So in conclusion tonight, my fellow Muslims, tonight's khatra is our plan for the 15th of Sha'ban. This auspicious night is before us. This great opportunity is coming to us on a platter. May Allah allow all of us to reap the benefits of this night. Say Ameen. Ameen Ya Rabbil Alameen. May Allah allow us to gain forgiveness on that night. Ameen Ya Rabbil Alameen. May Allah allow us to gain the opening from Allah and clarity from Allah and healing from Allah and the return to goodness from the treasures of Allah. Ameen Ya Rabbil Alameen. May Allah make our prayers such that it will shake the universe and it will go to the throne. May Allah make our prayers so sincere that it will go straight to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make the return of those prayers even greater. Ameen Ya Rabbil Alameen. So Jazakumullah khairan to all of you for joining us for this Monday night khatira. Tonight was a special discussion on the night of Sha'ban. If you do have any questions, please feel free to email me or to text. If not, inshallah, do spread this message to others. Let's maximize the ability for people to gain on this night. Remember, this isn't a secret sale in a shop that you want to be there only. This is Allah's treasures opening for everyone. The more, the merrier. So may all of us be enlightened, may all of us gain, and may all of us reap the benefits. Ameen Ya Rabbil Alameen. Jazakumullah khairan to all of you. Thank you once again for tuning in. Please stay safe, stay healthy. May Allah protect you and your families. May Allah bless all of you and your families. Ameen Ya Rabbil Alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.